Welcome to the Existential Empath Podcast. My name is Tanya, and I am an intuitive empath. My intention is to share valuable tips, tools, and techniques that I have learned so you can tap into your own inner healer naturally and intuitively. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you are all doing well. In this episode, I wanted to talk about some alternatives to coffee that you may not even know about. And one thing that I'm beginning to recognize is while I'm working with clients, there seems to be a extreme amount of fatigue and lack of energy. And so when I talk about multi-dimensional detoxing, which I've talked about several times on my show and several other podcasts, I dive into how we can cleanse our body, our mind, and our spirit, as well as our emotional body too. So when we're looking at our physical body, there are many things that we could be putting into our body that are causing us harm, that are causing our body to not function properly. And one of those things could be your daily coffee drink. So, did you know that most coffee beans are covered in pesticides, mold, and mycotoxins that can lead to an overgrowth of candida, otherwise known as yeast, fungus, and mold? Ew, I know, right? When I learned this, I really took a deep dive into figuring out if this was true, number one, because I definitely loved my pumpkin spice lattes. And I also wanted to see if I could find some alternatives to that. So, some signs that you could be struggling with either yeast, fungus, or mold could be hair loss, yellowing of the nails, wrinkled skin, stomach issues, chronic pain. Toenail fungus is a big one. And there's so many other things like adrenal fatigue, just constant fatigue. You might even be feeling the jitters and a withdrawal if you haven't had your coffee for the day. So, what are mycotoxins? Mycotoxins are these toxic compounds that are naturally produced by certain types of molds or fungi. And so, coffee may contain contaminants like pesticides and mold toxins that can happen throughout the process of coffee production, whether it's during the growing process or when it's being stored. And so, most popular coffee shops, especially here in the States, provide products that are full of chemicals, preservatives, mold, and pesticides. And so, several years ago, after learning this, I went on my own discovery to figure out what is a better alternative to coffee. And that's when I found what I drink today. And so, what do we drink instead? You might be asking me that. Well, if you are really hooked on coffee, then I highly suggest you do some research on your own on different brands and switch to organic coffee if possible. And make your own coffee at home so you know how clean the ingredients are. You know what's being put into your coffee every day. You know what's in the milk product that you could be adding. You know how much sugar is going in it. You know if there's simple syrups going in it that could contain harmful chemicals and pesticides. And that's what I started doing at first when I was really weaning myself off of coffee. I started to just make it at home instead of going to the local coffee shops and buying whatever they were putting in the coffee. And then I was feeling this beautiful burst of energy at first. And then as the day went on, I was feeling horrible. And so, you can either do that or start with that, or you can do what I did and completely switch to organic raw ceremonial cacao. And so I have drank raw organic ceremonial cacao daily for many years. Gosh, I can't even remember when I made this switch. It had to have at least been 10 years ago. And I absolutely love how it makes me feel. And so, what is ceremonial cacao? Ceremonial cacao refers to a premium grade pure cacao that is ethically sourced from small family farms practicing regenerative agroforestry. It is made from a single ingredient, whole cacao beans, with nothing added and nothing removed. So it is pure. It's pure, straight from the earth. The cacao is minimally processed and crafted specifically for ceremony, whether that's drinking it in a group setting or individually, as I do. and setting an intention for your day. So, real cacao is not powdered like you would see in traditional supermarkets. So, you may think, oh, I add cacao to my smoothie, or I make hot cocoa with my cacao. This is different. Okay. So, what I'm talking about is it comes in a bar form or a disc form. So, it is straight from the cacao bean. It has not been additionally processed into a powder form. So, if you really want to amp up your raw cacao intake, then you're going to want to step it up and get it straight from that form, whether it's a bar or a disc form. And so, consuming cacao can replenish all these vital minerals in our body. And I just did a show on this, on the importance of electrolytes in the body. And so we all know that magnesium is, very important for our body, but we are chronically deficient in majority of our diets. And cacao is the highest naturally occurring source of magnesium. And so magnesium is used in all key brain functions, especially memory and concentration. It is also beneficial for the functioning of the heart. It acts to relax the blood vessels and to decrease the strain that we may be putting on our hearts. And so, besides magnesium, cacao is also the highest naturally occurring source of chromium, and it also contains copper, calcium, manganese, zinc, sulfur, iron, and even phosphorus. And so, working with cacao regularly can result in long term beneficial changes in brain function, primarily through the reinforcement of neural pathways that include more love, joy, presence, and connection. And that's where the ceremony comes into play. So, there is ample evidence for the neuroplasticity of the human brain, and regularly ingesting cacao with all of its benefits could have long term impact on dominant neural pathways. Now, I can speak for myself on this because I have been drinking this daily in replacement of coffee. The first thing I get right after my warm lemon water and honey in the morning is my raw cacao. I have experienced more clarity. I'm much more relaxed and my circulation has improved. I notice that my meditations are much deeper and I have a lot more focus. And just drinking that in the morning and setting an intention for the day just really sets the tone for my day. And so, cacao also includes what's known as anandamide. It's commonly referred to as the bliss molecule, and it's associated with the runner's high effects. So, for those of you out there who are runners, you may know what that feels like. And it is actually the first endocannabinoid to be discovered, and it is well known for moderating pain. And it also includes what's known as PEA, which helps with excitement, alertness, and attention. And it gives the perception of time slowing down. And that is one thing that I have noticed shifting from coffee to raw cacao is coffee sped up time for me, where raw cacao really slowed me down. It really makes me live in the present moment and allows me to connect in a way where coffee didn't. Coffee was just kind of acted as a distraction a little bit for me. It was something that gave me that quick boost or that quick high, and then it went away really quickly. Where cacao can really allow you to live in that present moment and feel and experience the senses where coffee would not allow that, at least for me. It also includes serotonin, which helps with being and creating resistance to stress. Dopamine gives feelings of motivation and pleasure. So it has some really great benefits to it. So the brand that I have used for more than 10 years is Aura Cacao, which once was known as Firefly Chocolate. That's actually how I found them, was Firefly Chocolate. And then several years ago, they switched over to the name Aura Cacao. And it's a clean, sustainable, and delicious product that sets the tone for my day. And if you make it correctly, it can be very smooth and creamy, and it has a lot of medicinal benefits too. So, some benefits that you may experience when switching from coffee to cacao could include fighting inflammation, supporting cardiovascular and brain health. It boosts your mood. That's definitely something that I have recognized. It improves insulin sensitivity. It reduces stress and increases energy. It gives you a good boost of magnesium and B vitamins. It does have anti-aging properties. It provides stronger mental focus with a sense of calmness. Now, I can really speak on this. It's great to drink prior to meditation. So, if you set your intention while you're drinking it and then move yourself into meditation, you will notice that you have much more focus and you're much more clear when that intuitive inspiration or information comes through to you. It does not give you jitters or crashes like coffee. That's definitely something that I recognized. It calms the central nervous system. It detoxifies the body because it has so much magnesium in it. Magnesium is an excellent detoxifier. And as a perk for you esoteric spiritual types out there, it also activates the pineal gland to enhance sleep and intuition. So, Jonas is the founder of Aura Cacao, and Jonas crafts unsweetened ceremonial grade cacao that is used in ceremonies all around the world. And he hosts monthly cacao ceremonies with his men's circle, where he teaches how to stone grind fresh cacao paste from the bean using traditional methods. And after Jonas first encountered sipping chocolate in Mexico, is when he founded the bean to bar dark chocolate company, Firefly Chocolate, with a mission of inspiring awe and wonder through cacao. And then eventually that name was switched over to Aura Cacao, which is the name of the company now. And Aura Cacao has a variety of flavors to choose from all around the world. He actually travels around to find the best raw cacao. And one of my favorites is called Glowing Guatemala. Now, I have tested and tasted, I think all of them. I think all of the flavors. When I first started buying Aura Cacao, I would buy the sampler packs so that way I could give it a shot and see which ones I liked. But over the course of time, I now buy the larger pound bags and I buy them in the flavors that I love the most. Glowing Guatemala being one of them. So, if you want to learn more about ceremonial cacao and its benefits and to purchase some for yourself, you can visit my website and receive a discount on your first order. And so now I'm going to show you how I make mine. I put together a little video so I can kind of show you how I make my cacao in the morning. Now you can add or delete whatever you want from what my video shows. I love a little bit of cinnamon, and then I add my medicinal mushrooms, and then I do add a little bit of real maple syrup. And now you can change that up. You could add honey, you could add monk fruit, you could add agave if you want, you could add stevia if you like stevia. It's really up to you. You may not even want to add a sweetener to it. There's times when I don't. I just, leave out the maple syrup. And you can add pumpkin spice if you want to. It's really up to you what you want to add. You can really make it unique to you, and you can change it up every day if you want to. Sometimes I do that. So I love adding a little bit of nut milk to it. Now you want to make sure you add something with a little bit of fat to it. So whether you're drinking dairy milk or you're drinking nut milk or coconut milk, you want to add a little bit of fat to it. So I make my own cashew milk. I make my own coconut milk, almond milk. Sometimes I'll even add a little bit of coconut oil in there just to add that fat, because the fat will bring out the flavor of the cacao as well as the benefits. So for those of you listening to the podcast, you may want to jump on over to the YouTube channel so you can see how I make my daily cacao. You deserve to navigate your life in alignment with health, happiness, and abundance. To learn more about the services that I provide, including Beyond Quantum Healing Hypnosis, EFT tapping, and the Emotion Code, visit my website at www.theexistentialempath.com.